I'm Rad, welcome to ABC Gamer. Now, Overwatch 2 came out a very short time ago, and there is a lot to talk about, so we're gonna talk about it. Joining me is Joe.
Hi.
And Harry.
Hi.
Okay, what is your experience with this game? I'm gonna start with you, Harry.
I loved Overwatch. I probably got a couple hundred hours into it,
Okay.
but then I stopped for about a year and a half, I reckon. Oh, maybe a year, but huge fan.
Why'd you stop?
Valorant.
So you're a
Yeah.
big FPS, multiple
Yeah,
shooter game man.
well, it's just what my friends are playing, so
Yeah.
I play Valorant because my friends are playing that, but now they're going to be playing Overwatch too, so.
Okay, well, so happy for you, Harry, that you have friends. Joe, what about you?
I'd never played Overwatch before, and this is my first time playing any amount of Overwatch.
You never played Overwatch 1?
Never touched it.
Never touched it.
Never
Okay,
touched
wait.
it.
For context, Joe plays all the games. Joe has probably played
Except
more
Overwatch.
games than anyone else I know except Overwatch.
And he's
Except Overwatch.
very good at them. That's crazy.
Somehow I just
Why-
missed it.
Why?
I think it was a full-priced multiplayer-only shooter, and it didn't quite tickle my fancies enough that I wanted to buy it. Like I just and then years passed, and I was like, well, I've missed that train, so
true.
and
And
then
then
did it.
never wanted to.
And I
even-
never looked
Even
back.
in the free, like you could just pop it on and give it a go.
But it was like, nah.
It's been a good couple of years since I played original Overwatch Vanilla, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
But you have been playing too, haven't
I've
you,
been
Harry?
playing too. A lot of big changes. Broad strokes, I'd probably say that it's a lot quicker in that it's not 6 versus 6 anymore. It's v5. Instead of having 2 tanks, you only have the 1 tank. They've got a bunch of passive abilities for each class, like the tanks don't get knocked back as much.
You said that it's quicker, but
Yeah.
in my opinion, Overwatch has always been quite a frenetic
Yes.
game. What do you mean by quicker? How can it get quicker?
A lot going on. Well, I think what a lot of the the OG Watch players were complaining about was that the moments where you gained momentum would grind to a halt.
Yes,
Like you would get to
okay.
points where you're like, oh yeah, we're definitely gonna win, and then we forgot to kill the Lucio or whatever, and so you just get so frustrated to just slow down. Whereas now it's about you actually feel like you're achieving things and moving forward, and it's like a lot snappier.
Does that change how the balance feels, though? Because is not that kind of grinding to a halt at times? Say, I'm thinking payload, for example.
Yeah.
Is that not kind of a representation of the defending team making ground?
Well, I think because, like, for example, with instead of 6v6, now that they have 5v5, each person's, because you have fewer teammates, fewer variables, each person feels like they have a lot more accountability and responsibility in their role.
I just had a realization. There's going to be people that have, like, their Overwatch team and they're people that they play with all the time, and now someone's out.
What about
Yeah.
the esports teams?
Yeah.
It's huge. Yeah, it is huge, and roster changes are massive. Like, we're talking about like a big industry here, and like they have to, contract disputes, all of that stuff. But I'll say, from like a casual point of view, I do like the quicker pace, and I'm wondering, was that one of the things that made you not want to play OG Watch? Was how quick and frenetic it was? It was like,
I guess from like looking at it, it just looked like a lot going on, and
Yeah.
I kind of like a little bit more of a strategic. I'm a Halo guy. I like the longer time to kill. And Overwatch does have a long time to kill.
Yes.
It is, the battles can go on for a while, especially if you've got good healers and tanks, and they're all working together. But it just all the powers and abilities was just like, this is a lot.
See, because I would say in Overwatch 2, you feel like there's more agency in your characters, because it not only the 5v5 thing, but because like each person's role is so important, and so that's where all that coordination starts to play like into effect. Like if you want to stay alive for longer, you got to have your healers, you got to communicate with them.
You got to know where they are as well.
That's why they put in the ping system as well, and like you get to be like, oh, I'm here, I need healing, please come find me.
Well, speaking of roles, heroes, and characters, have they changed them at all?
They've been big. Well, first of all, they've got new characters in Overwatch 2.
Love to see it.
They've got the Junker Queen tank, a new healer Kiriko, and also the new DPS character Sojourn, who's also kind of breaking the game at the moment. But but the new changes, like the passive abilities and everything, and they took away crowd control, so you can't stun. Like, I was saying, it's a lot quicker. And you get frustrated by the lack of momentum. Like the stunning stuff made you feel like, I gotta wait 2 seconds to get back in. And then the other thing was, and Valorant kind of has this too, where you would just get stacks of stuns, one after the other.
But when you're the one stunning, it feels really good.
But when you're getting stunned, that's no fun.
Yeah, it's awful. But so again, they've sped it up, and it feels like anytime, like Ana has a sort of a stun, a silent, like a sleep dart that lasts for a long while, but it's a skill shot thing. Like every time you do it, you've earned it, and if you miss, you have to take way longer for it to come back.
Down, yeah.
This was going to be one of my points. I feel like stun chains can be really satisfying if you had to really work to earn the ability to do them.
Yes.
And I feel like perhaps that was an issue in OG Watch where you just kind of had the stuns and you could just throw them out. So having those little tweaks and making it sort of like you have to be playing well in order to be able to get to use those big stuns is probably a pretty good thing and nice for balance.
I think the quality of life stuff, like they really tried to overhaul. Yeah, they tried to overhaul, like even like one of the characters, Orisa the tank, she had this shield that she'd throw out in OG Watch that would like all the tanks have shields, but because they're thinking about the quicker pace, they've completely changed her. She moves faster and pushes forward, so you've got the advantage. She's absorbing all this damage as she's moving forward. She finally has like this skill shot javelin that she can throw. Like everything's sort of anchored onto this idea that they want players to always almost be playing and moving forward and feel like they're achieving something. It's like I feel like all the quality of life changes are around that. It's like quick, fun, I'm in control.
So what heroes have you been playing, Joe? I'll start with you.
I mostly played with the support because I just did the NEQ, and that would always put me as support. There's only, I think, like 3 or 4 support characters you get to start with.
What do you mean start with?
Well, if you're a new player, you only have, I'll get the number wrong, but let's say 10 characters unlocked, and you have to unlock the rest as you play. They do unlock at a fairly quick pace, like after every 2 or 3 matches, you get a new one to play with. Which, to be honest, as a new player, I was fine with because I have no idea who these characters are and how they play. Yeah. So it's going to take me a moment to learn each one anyway.
No, 2 questions though. How long do you think it would take to unlock all of them? And can you pay to unlock all of them?
Yes, I think if you buy the battle pass, it gives you everything. So I think you can pay to unlock them all. I could be wrong on that. And I think if you did buy the original and just didn't play it for some reason, you would have them all, so you could pay that way. As for how long it takes to unlock them all, I would say it's probably going to be like a 50-hour grind, probably.
Could be, because it does get harder to get more XP as you play, so it might be even longer than that.
Yeah.
So everyone knows this, I'm a huge Dota fan. It is one of the games that I'm gonna say more or less pioneered a lot of that kind of free-to-play model. It's one of the really big players in that space. And one of the very important things, in my opinion, for that kind of game that is also competitive is that all the heroes are unlocked from the get-go. I think that's a core element of making these games work in a way that feels like it serves the player. So that's really disappointing for me to hear.
Yeah, like an accessibility thing, like you kind of want to find out which character you'll love from the get-go, and that takes experimentation. You don't want to be locked behind time. I find that time, if you're locked because you don't have the time to spend to unlock everything, that's the worst. And they try to mitigate that by like, you can pay.
How much is the battle pass?
It's like,
I think it's the usual kind of amount.
30 bucks, I think.
Does that mean that loot boxes, which Overwatch is very famous for, are no longer a thing?
They're gone. Yeah, they're completely, like you get a personalized shop which refreshes what you can buy. Yeah. And then the battle pass, like it'll unlock like legendary skins at certain tier levels and everything, all the voice lines and everything. But look, loot boxes, it's funny because in the beginning I was like, oh, loot boxes, yeah, they're rubbish and it's like this and that, it's really bad. But then after Battle Pass came out, I was like, oh, I kind of miss the free loot boxes.
You missed the loot boxes.
Well, the free ones, because you could just, there were some challenges you could do and that would give you a free loot box. Free loot box would always give you something trash, but the feeling of like, I earned this and it's free. Yeah, it's a little, and the animation.
It's all the gambling psychology that they've spent years refining.
Let's not talk about that. But the feeling was fun, the achievement, and it's like, all it cost was having fun. Like just having fun with the game. Whereas now it's like, it costs something real, like money or time, usually money.
Yeah.
I think that is a pitfall that a lot of these games are kind of barreling towards more and more of losing sight of how to make it fun for the player to continue progressing. And again, sorry, but bringing it back to Dota, we saw this massively with the TI 11 Battle Pass that's just come out. Lots of people didn't opt in because they're like, it doesn't feel fun anymore. It feels like a money grab. The rewards that I'm getting don't feel
What about
worth the
that
time
was
investment.
not balanced right compared to other battle passes they've done?
Literally just the quality of the skins,
Right.
and also the, I guess, spacing of the levels of like reward.
Sure.
So you have to grind too far to get something mediocre, and then the really good stuff or anything good is so far down the line that it's like, well, they're really expecting you to purchase 500 levels or something to get it.
I mean, it's interesting because these things can always be tweaked relatively quickly. You know, the next season pass, if they actually listen to the feedback and respond, it'll be, you know, this will all be fixed and it'll be better by the next time. We hope. But like,
it's offset by like, if they do make heaps of money anyway, that positive confirmation of like, well, actually, we're still getting our money.
yeah,
'Cause
but
you
I
can
mean,
have
I think there's a fine line developers often
Yeah.
walk where if there's negative sentiment, they want to correct that out there. Even if they are making a lot of money, they don't want the social media backlash to keep going for too long.
Oh yeah, but Blizz Activision.
Well,
This ain't their first rodeo!
pretty good at
You
it.
say all that, but like they've had that game was Overwatch 1 was out for ages, and that sentiment was there for a while.
Yeah.
Like that, and they still tried to push the loot box
Yeah.
stuff. And then they're like, well, how about we do Overwatch
Maybe,
2, which
maybe
is
I'm
a battle
giving
pass?
them, benefit of the doubt, but
Yeah, I don't know.
prove me right or wrong, Blizzard. I don't know.
Yeah.
Prove me
Fool
something.
Fool me 9 times, you know?
Well, I did get you both here because you have very different experiences with the game. So I want to know, veteran of the series,
Oh, I
what do you
wouldn't say
think versus new player?
I love it. It actually refreshed. It was a breath of new fresh air for me for Overwatch because I didn't realize how much I hated some of the first stuff.
So it feels properly like a sequel,
If-
not just like a expansion slight rework.
Yeah, it feels. This is the thing. It feels like an expansion to come. Like I know. For me,
does that mean?
Look, it's a potential expansion. Like in that,
That's even worse.
just let me finish
Okay,
because.
all right.
For me, it'll hit expansion status. It's inevitably going to hit that expansion status once the single player PvE part comes.
Yes,
Because that's
of course,
completely new.
sure.
Completely new. You got new heroes and stuff. They were releasing new heroes in the first one though. But the full game mode, ground up PvE, that's expansion to me. But that's not out yet. That's sometime next year. But it will come out. So for me, I would say it's an investment. It's a free game. It's an investment for me to call it an actual sequel. Because I'm going to keep playing it now, I'll build it up, and then I'll be familiar with all the new heroes, everything in new, and then when the PvE comes out, I'm going to be like, yeah, Overwatch 2, finally, it's a sequel.
Does it feel like a significantly different experience now, or is it kind of just like, it's still more Overwatch?
For me, look, I've had the chance to not play Overwatch for a bit, for me to forget a lot of the first, but I think for players who continue to play Overwatch 1 and they're playing Overwatch 2, it wouldn't feel like enough.
Right.
But for me, because I forgot all that stuff, and I came back, and then all the frustrating stuff was gone, it tapped into that part of my brain that's like all stimulus, all good. And I was like, yes,
Yeah.
this feels significantly sequelized.
So you think it's trying to maybe tap into that lapsed player market a little bit?
I think
more
so.
than
I think honestly, with the timing and everything, and like other free-to-play games hitting their peak, they're like, yeah, we're just gonna wait, and now.
But wasn't part of the magic of OG Watch that it felt like quite a new FPS? Like it was kind of picking and choosing from other games that existed. For example, Team Fortress 2.
Oh,
When
love Team
Overwatch first came out, it just felt like, in my opinion, a slightly worse Team Fortress 2. But, you know, obviously had its own style and a lot of things going for it. But is that just tired now? We've got so many of these multiplayer shooters now.
Yeah.
hero shooters as well.
Yeah.
Hero shooters, so many options, which is why like it's good that they're really critically looking at how they're making things better and different. Because otherwise, like, it's a slippery slope to like fading into nothingness. Because it's so you can play like again for me, Valorant and Overwatch 2, like some
Which is
nights.
better for you?
Oh,
Hey, look, actually, no, I'm going to
Another
retract that
discussion.
question.
like my
'cause
favorite
it's-
child. How
It's
could
too,
you?
yeah, it's too much to get into, and
Yeah.
also Overwatch is still shiny and new, so I apologize. I retract that question.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I can't.
And Joe, as a new player, how are you finding it?
To be honest, it felt pretty retro in a way. Like, as you said, it's funny you mentioned. It's funny you mentioned Team Fortress 2 because I was like, it took me back to those days. It felt like a Team Fortress thing. I was putting down turrets and repairing them and stuff like that. And I was playing the wrong game.
Turrets, where am I?
Yeah. You're waiting for the spy. Like, wait.
Yeah, but it just didn't feel like a modern game in a lot of ways, but in a good way as well. Like, it felt like arcadey and fast, and a combination of sort of old school Twitch shooters with a little Team Fortress and heroes.
It's interesting because to me, Overwatch has never nailed what I love about Twitch shooters. It's fast, for sure, but Twitch shooters just have a completely different movement style that I really love that I found Overwatch never nailed.
Yeah, but I did feel the movement was like a little slow. I kept wanting to sprint, and it's like, oh, those are actually abilities.
Yeah.
If you want to move fast and jump around, you need the character that moves fast and jumps around. But yeah, I don't know. It didn't grab me as like, oh wow, I really see why everyone's so obsessed with this. It was just like, oh, this is a fun game.
Okay, question. For you, that like, not again, I'm biased, but did you solo queue all your Overwatch? Because this is the thing. Even with one friend,
that's asking
an
a lot.
acquaintance even, but just having someone on team chat to coordinate with one other person,
Yeah, sure.
that changed it completely for me. Like, I mean, I solo queue Overwatch 2 a lot of the time now because my mates are all like nurses and, their times to play are very different to me. But when I get to play with them, it's such a different game. It's so fun. So I would like plead for you to go back in with someone else, someone else.
Let's play some games.
Well, it'll be a different experience, I guarantee it.
I mean, it is. I did feel that. It's so heavily team-based that as a new player, I was a little lost with the characters. I was a little lost with the maps and objectives and what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And the amount of times I felt like I was just completely letting the team down, even though I was probably playing well.
Yeah.
But I was just like, am I doing the right thing?
What am I doing?
Am I supposed to be doing this? Should I be like DPSing or should I be healing?
Who
am
I?
I? Yeah. And then it's like, when I was a tank, I realized, oh man, I'm the only tank.
Yeah, you are the only tank.
If I'm playing badly as the tank, we're done.
It's the accountability thing I was saying before, but yeah, it does cut both ways when you have more accountability because then you feel like you're letting the team down. But when you have if you were the tank, I'll be your pocket healer. You'll be the big brother and I'll be the little brother like, yeah, get him. And then I'm healing you from behind.
All right, we'll do it.
Yeah.
We also did see a huge spike in players when the beta came out. People were really excited and then it drops completely off. Do you think there's longevity in the game?
I think it's the long game of Blizz Activision. Like, they have to see how they can listen to their players and update the game accordingly, because I think that's the crucial element. I'm sure. Do you feel like Dota, the community and the developers, like, they have a strong, good connection?
No.
Right.
So this is part of the problem, I guess, that it's kind of gotten to a point where people don't feel that Valve are listening to the community, and a lot of the skins that they're releasing in the Battle Pass are things that they've cherry-picked from a community of makers and put in the Battle Pass, so people are also like, Valve isn't even developing these things.
They're not even doing it,
They're getting it, so why can't they have more of them? Why can't they have better stuff?
Yeah. Well, that's what I reckon that'll be the thing that actually determines it, is if they can listen to their players and actually implement changes that players want, then it could go forever. There won't be an Overwatch 3.
There shouldn't be. There shouldn't have been an Overwatch 2.
I mean, this
Overwatch free to
this
play.
is Overwatch now.
It's
not
true.
even.
It's
Yeah,
just Overwatch.
it's
There's
the
no
only
Overwatch.
one.
Yeah. No OG Watch.
No Overwatch 1. Yeah.
And the final big question, play or pass? Joe?
From like a reviewer's point of view of recommending it to people, absolutely play. Like, it's a great game. Will I play it? Probably not.
He's like, this isn't Halo!
I have Halo to play. I'm one of the 3 people still playing Halo Infinite, and I've got to support my game. I've got to do it.
Yeah, okay.
If I'm not there, no one else is.
Yeah, that's fair. Mine's definitely a play, because it's just going to get better. It's going to get better.
Well, it should.
Yeah.
One would hope.
Fingers crossed.
And even though I haven't played it, I'm going to say play because it's free. Just jump in. Why not?
Yes.
That is it for our play or pass of Overwatch 2. What about you? Are you playing it? Are you going to play it? Are you going to jump in with Joe, who's already decided he's not going to play more?
I'll play with Harry.
Yeah.
You'll play with Harry?
Yeah.
Maybe you can play with Harry, because he loves it.
Come on with me.
Yeah.
I'll heal ya.
Let us know in the comments below, and make sure you hit that notification button, subscribe button, and check out ABC Gamer for more cool gaming content from the ABC.
Bye.
Bye.